am Lily. Today I'm going to read Charlotte's Web, Chapter 5. Charlotte. Sorry, we read this paper. Let's read this paper. Sorry, this page. Scratched across the upper part of the doorway was a big spider web, and hanging from the top of the web, head down, was a large gray spider. She was about the size of a gumdrop. She had 8 legs, and she was waving one of them at Wilbur in friendly greeting. "See me now?" she asked. "Oh, yes, indeed," said Wilbur. "Yes, indeed. How are you? Good morning. Salutations. Very pleased to meet you. What is your name, please? May I have your name?" "My name," said the spider, "is Charlotte." "Charlotte what?" asked Wilbur eagerly. "Charlotte A. Cavetica, but just call me Charlotte." "I think you're beautiful," said Wilbur. "Well, I am pretty," replied Charlotte. "There's no denying it. Almost all spiders are rather nice looking. I'm not as flash as some, but I will do. I wish I could see you, Wilbur, as clearly as you can see me." "Why can't you?" asked the pig. "I'm right here." "Yes, but I'm nearsighted," replied Charlotte. "I've always been dreadfully nearsighted. It's good in some ways, but not so good in others. Watch me wrap up this fly." A fly that had been crawling along Wilbur's throat had flown up and blundered into the lower part of Charlotte's web and was tangled in the sticky threads. The fly was beating its wings furiously, trying to break loose and free itself. "First," said Charlotte, "I dive at him." She plunged head first toward the fly. As she dropped, a tiny silken thread unwound from her rear end. "Next, I wrap him up." She grabbed the fly, threw a few jets of silk around it, and rolled it over and over, wrapping it so that it couldn't move. Wilbur watched it horror. He could hardly believe what she was seeing, and although she detested flies, he was sorry for this one. "There," said Charlotte. "Now I knock him up, or so he will be more comfortable." She bit the fly. He can't feel a thing now," she remarked. "He will make a perfect breakfast for me." "You mean you eat flies?" gasped Wilbur. "Certainly, flies, bugs, grasshoppers, choice beetles, moths, butterflies, tasty cockroaches, gnats, mites, daddy long legs, centipedes, mosquitoes, crickets, anything that is careless enough to get caught in my web. I have to live, don't I?" "Why, yes, of course," said Wilbur. "Do they taste good?" "Delicious, of course. I don't really eat them. I drink them. They're blood." "I love blood," said Charlotte, and her pleasant, thin voice grew even thinner and more pleasant. "Don't say that," groaned Wilbur. "Please don't say things like that." "Why not? It's true, and I have to say that it's true, and I have to say what is true. I am not entirely happy about my diet of flies and bugs, but it's the way I've made. A spider has to pick up a living somehow or other, and I happen to be a trapper. I just naturally build a web and trap flies and other insects. My mother was a trapper before me. Her mother was a trapper before her. Or our family have been trappers. Way back for thousands and thousands of years, we spiders have been laying for flies and bugs. It's a miserable inheritance," said Wilbur gloomily. He was sad because his new friend was so bloodthirsty. Yes, it is, agreed Charlotte, but I can't help it. I don't know how the first spider in the early days of the world happened to think of this fancy idea for spinning a web, but she did, and it was clever of her too. And since then, all of us spiders have had to work the same trick. I'm not a bad pitch on the whole. It's cruel, replied Wilbur, who did not intend to be argued what of his position. Well, you can't talk, said Charlotte. You have your milk brought to you in a pail. Nobody feeds me. I have to get my own living. I live by my wits. I have to be sharp and clever. Lest I go hungry. I have to think things out, catch what I can, take what comes. And it just so happens, my friend, that what comes is flies and insects and bugs. And furthermore, she said Charlotte, shaking one of her legs. Do you realize that if I didn't catch bugs and eat them, bugs would increase and multiply and get so numerous that they destroy the earth, wipe out everything? Really? Said Wilbur. I wouldn't help that to happen. Perhaps your web is a good thing after all. The goose had been listening to this conversation and chuckling to herself. There are a lot of things Wilbur doesn't know about life, she said. He's really a very innocent little pig. He doesn't even know what's going to happen to him around Christmas time. He has no idea that Mr. Duckerman and Lurby are plotting to kill him. And the goose raised herself a bit and poked her legs a little further under her so that they could receive the full heat from her warm and soft feathers. Charlotte stood quietly over the fly, preparing to eat it. Wilbur lay down and closed his eyes. He was tired from his wakeful night and from the excitement of meeting someone for the first time. A breeze brought him the smell of clover, the sweet-smelling world beyond his fence. Well, he thought, I've got a new friend, all right. But what a gamble friendship is! Charlotte is fierce, brutal, jamming, bloodthirsty, everything I don't like. How can I learn to like her? Even though she is pretty and, of course, clever, Wilbur was morally suffering the doubts and fears that often go with finding a new friend. In good time, he was to discover that he was mistaken about Charlotte. Underneath her rather bored and cruel exterior, she had a kind heart, and she was to prove loyal and true to the very end. Bye! Next chapter is Summer Days. Bye!